Big Mouth is a show that I would quite comfortably say is the most popular animated show on Netflix. Primarily following the lives of Nick and Andrew, we see them navigate their way through puberty alongside their hormone monsters, and we've seen these characters develop in the past 4 seasons. With the show being at the top of its game, it doesn't show any signs of slowing down or concluding anytime soon. They're even making spin-offs based on monsters that we've seen throughout the 4 seasons. But it did get me thinking, how is Big Mouth going to end, and what would the perfect ending look like? Well, I thought I'd give my view on what I think the perfect ending of Big Mouth will be. So, how do I think the show will end? Well, let's find out. Before I go ahead, make sure you go over to my Twitter, @BrainPilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review next. So without further ado, I'm BrainPilot, and here is how I believe Big Mouth will end. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers of the past 4 seasons of the show, so watch with caution. Throughout the 4 seasons of Big Mouth that we've had so far, we've seen both Nick and Andrew develop as characters and develop a personality that is true to the characters' origins and direction in which they've been led. With 4 seasons now under the belt, it does have me questioning how long will this show go on for. It doesn't feel like it's going to be a 30+ season Simpsons-style show, but it gives off the impression that it will quit while it's ahead, and not drag on for too long, and will go out whilst the fans still love it, rather than everybody chanting for the show to end. When we look at BoJack, that had a relatively small number of seasons, but that most definitely delivered. It didn't go on beyond the point of appreciation. It was aware of its success, and it finished at the right moment with a storyline that was well suited to the characters. This is the approach that I believe Big Mouth will take. It seems like the show is in hands that can be trusted. We've seen episodes throughout the seasons where we have Nick and Andrew from the future. We've seen Andrew being portrayed as a senior citizen, a cool guy in his 30s, and a middle-aged man in the most recent series where he looked very similar to his father. This shows the changes that we will see the characters go on throughout their lives long after the show has finished. We also see this with Nick. However, we only see one version, and that is future Nick, Nick Star. We see Nick take an opposite route to what Andrew does as the pair drift off. Nick becomes incredibly famous, rich, and has everything he could want in the world, other than love and a family. He has no spouse, no children, and is essentially all alone. The insecurities that the younger Nick had in Big Mouth became a reality for future Nick. However, he does still have a robot version of Andrew, showing that his friendship with him is something that is still cherished despite not always seeing each other. This can lead us to the direction that the characters may take from where they are currently at. I think this shows us that the friendship that the pair has is something that is going to continue and will only come to an end due to circumstances arising. I don't believe that they will fall out like they have done in the past, but I believe that they will eventually be forced to go their separate ways, either at the end of middle or high school as they go off to college, which will ultimately mean their contact will just fizzle out due to meeting new people and going on separate journeys. I still believe that Nick and Andrew throughout all of their educational years will be the 2 dorky type characters that like to think that they're cooler than what they are, and I don't think they will ever become the cool kids as long as they are together. As we see in episodes, there are points in their lives where they both taste success, and are the cool figures that they always dreamed of being. But I don't think that they will be in each other's lives when this occurs due to what we have seen glimpses of. I think the show would do the characters and the show justice if it decided to call it a day after the group left high school. It would be good to see the characters enter that environment and see how they handle high school drama and all that gets up to behind those classroom doors. But my thought process also tells me that the hormone monsters would be redundant. You're not really going through puberty once you get to the back end of high school, and with the hormone monsters being a huge part of the show, there would almost be no need for them as they wouldn't be contributing to the characters. We will have established characters that won't be relying on hormone monsters at that age. So I think that is where a good point for the show to conclude would be. I think with regards to Jesse, Missy and Jay, I think Jay will continue to do his own thing and lead by his own example. If anything is to be taken from what we've seen so far, Jay is a lone ranger and does his own thing, and I think at the end of the show, Jay will still be doing exactly that. I think we will see Jessie start to have adopted more of her activist mentality that we saw in Season 4 in the episode that was set 30 years in the future where she was slightly older. Jessie believes in the people and wants what's best for the people, and high school seems like a place where I feel she will start to learn about what she believes in and what she wants to fight for. With Missy, she has taken a huge journey from the nerdy romantic character that we saw in Season 1 to now being this confident young girl that is embracing her identity, something that we never got to see due to her parents. I think we will see Missy continue down this path of discovery and learn more about herself. I don't think that she will end up with Andrew right at the end of the show either. I think there will always be that on and off spark, but it will never develop into anything more. Rather than us seeing an emotional final episode of the group saying goodbye to each other at the end of high school, I think it would be a lot better if we saw each individual character having to say goodbye to their hormone monster, and that is something that I think will be surprisingly more emotional to watch as a viewer, when compared to Nick, Andrew, Jessie, Missy and Jay saying goodbye to one another. We always see the monsters as the rude, dirty side of their minds, but I think when the time comes to say goodbye, they will show the care that they have for their humans. I think for Nick, Andrew, Jessie and Missy, it is also going to be filled with emotions. They've essentially been with them for the majority of their teenage years throughout their darkest, happiest and most awkward moments, and it will most likely be hard for them to let go. But it will be extremely rewarding and provide a tear-jerking moment as a viewer to see this scene unravel. It will be one of the more serious elements of the show, as I believe the show does understand the respect that the audience has for it. It would be a very strong moment to witness, and I hope something like that does arise. So, there you have it. How I think the ending of Big Mouth will be. What would your perfect ending to the show be? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.